Hi there. My name is Tatiana Gidirimsky, and I'm a family law attorney with 22 years of experience. In this video, I want to talk to you about what you can do to keep the legal costs down while still getting great legal representation. So first of all, you can keep your costs down by doing some of the legwork in your divorce case. So this would involve collecting and providing to your attorney complete documents that your attorney is asking you for. So, for example, at the beginning of the case, your attorney may ask you for your bank statements, your tax returns, W-2s, pay stubs, credit card statements, etc. And I know it's tedious to collect these documents, but if you're able to collect and provide them quickly, efficiently, and completely, so that your attorney doesn't have to go back and follow up with you, then you will definitely save yourself money in the process. So related to that, the other area where you can really save in legal costs is in the discovery process. In many cases, the parties exchange formal requests for information and documents, which are called discovery requests. And responding to these requests can be very tedious and time-consuming. I have a paralegal working with me who is very experienced and efficient, and she does discovery responses day in and day out. And responding to discovery requests is one of the most time-consuming tasks that she would engage in. And after she's done with discovery, I would have to review the responses to make sure everything is accurate. And I know clients really don't like responding to discovery for a good reason. It's daunting because you literally get a 100-page document, and this document asks you all kinds of questions which seem too personal or irrelevant. But if you really want to save money on attorney's fees, you would need to do a thorough job responding to all of these questions. Except, of course, if your attorney thinks that some of them are improper and tells you not to respond to some of the questions. But if you respond to the rest of them in an organized and thorough way, you can literally save yourself thousands of dollars in legal fees. So another way in which I think a lot of people can save money on legal fees is choosing your battles. In some respects, divorce is like a business negotiation in which you can give and take based on what's important to you. If you choose not to fight about things that are less important, you will save yourself a lot of money. Some things are worth fighting for and others are not. So things that are worth fighting for would include your parenting plan, the final division of your assets and liabilities, the division of the big accounts, things like that. And it makes sense to devote energy to those things. Versus, for example, such things as personal property divisions, such as couches and chairs and dining room sets. And these are really not that important in the long run. Third, and this is related to picking your battles, I would say that in the long run, avoiding unnecessary arguments with your spouse and cooperating with your spouse on at least some of the issues will save you a lot of money in most cases. Of course, sometimes you're dealing with a spouse who would not cooperate themselves. And in those cases, it's impossible to cooperate because all they want to do is escalate. But even in those situations, it is possible to choose specific de-escalation strategies instead of reacting to every single spiteful argument or an email that your spouse sends to you. If you react to every one of these spiteful comments and you instruct your attorney to write a long letter each time there's a small disagreement, you will increase your attorney's fees by a lot. Finally, another way to save money on attorney's fees is to have a good mental health counselor to work with you regularly. Divorce is a very, very stressful process, especially at the early stages. And it's imperative, in my view, to have a good therapist or good mental health counselor. This way, when you meet with your attorney, you'll have a clearer head and more stable emotional foothold on what your priorities actually are in the divorce. So this will allow you to pick the battles more efficiently. So there you have it, the key things you can do to keep the costs down in the divorce process.